Hello, YouTube. It is mid-April, and I am sitting in my car, which is stuck in a parking space that's full of ice and snow because there's ice and snow everywhere. Everywhere. Some of the roads are finally better, but pretty much we had a heavy snowfall at a time of year when we don't normally get this much snow. And I don't know if that means that the city's allocation of salt is not there because they didn't salt anything and there's ice everywhere. So here I sit in my car with a shovel, which I've had to take everywhere because I keep getting stuck. I want to talk to you today about seasonal affectionate disorder. S.A.D. Boo-hoo. Season affectionate disorder is a real thing. Let me tell you, every winter, I think I'm going to have a handle on it, and every winter it comes anyway. And being at this part of the year, April, thinking that we, in the area I live in, are past the snow, the super cold days, the cold windy days that tear right through your clothes and chill you to the bone, and the gloom and more gloom that passes for sunshine between the hours where people in many parts of the globe and even in our country actually have sun. It is especially hard to have a day like this. What can you do when you suffer from season affectionate disorder? Well, you can move. That's the obvious choice, though it's not always easy to just pick up and move from where you live. Jobs, family, whatnot, always things that hold you back. And money, of course. Who has thousands of dollars to just throw into a move to go somewhere and hope they can find a job and an apartment and everything else? So, oftentimes, most people, you're just stuck where you are. You have to plan in order to execute something like that, and it probably realistically will take you a year to relocate to an area that has better weather where you can find yourself a place to live and a job. And of course, it becomes even more complicated if you have children, especially if you have children and you're not married and you share custody. That guy thinks I'm going to move out of this parking spot. I'm not going anywhere. Because in order for me to get out of this parking spot, I got to take my shovel and try to dig my damn tires out. Oh, snow. I'm over it. I was over snow when I was, I don't know, maybe 12 years old. I'm over it. So what can you do when you have this disorder and you're stuck? Number one thing that you can do is continue to exercise. If you are a good exerciser when the weather is warm, and especially if you have any exercise that you do indoors anywhere, continue it, double it during the gloomy months of winter. Or if you live somewhere like I do, most of fall, winter, and a good portion of spring, double your exercise. Number one thing, it's difficult, it's wet, and uncomfortable because you have to go to the gym or whatever indoor place that you're going to through the crappy snow, through the gloom, through the stuck vehicles and extra slow traffic, but you have to continue to do it. You have to continue to do it. Good diet helps also. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. Today's Monday. Yesterday was Sunday, my only day off of work, and I had been promising my daughter all week that we were going to do something fun on Sunday, because it's a day that we get to spend it. We spend every day together. She lives with me, but it's a day that we get to spend together that she knows that I don't have to work and that she doesn't have to go to school. So she's been asking to go rock climbing. Recently I quit smoking, so the prospect of rock climbing was even more exciting because, hey, I'm getting my lungs back so I can climb even better. So yesterday around 11:30, I said, okay, let's go. She's all excited. She gets her clothes on, and I go and I'm looking outside and it's a blizzard and I'm already miserable trying to fight through how crappy and how much I'd rather just go and lay down in the bed instead of go outside anywhere. We get outside in the car and we can't move the car more than 2 feet, And in trying to move it even more than 2 feet causes it to start to slide sideways in my assigned parking spot. So that has to be abandoned before it slides too far and I get to the point where I'm making it impossible for somebody else to park or to get around me in my parking lot. So she's very sad. We go back upstairs. She's very sad, and the look on her face, I really want to go rock climbing. You promised. I did promise. So we walked 3/4 of a mile. We walked through the snow. In this kind of heavy snowfall we're talking about, nobody's done any plowing. The streets are barely touched. There certainly was no seltdown. And nobody had even attempted to plow or shovel any portion of any sidewalk anywhere. So we walked through about a foot of snow, almost a mile, to get to this very nice rock climbing place that's normally a 3-minute drive from our apartment. And then we climbed rock, which we did rock climbing, and I did some of the exercise equipment for, maybe for a while, 2.5, 3 hours. And then we walked back. It took a lot. But I did it. And I'm happy I did it because, while I was there, while I was exercising, I felt better. After we were done, I felt pretty good. Even walking home through the crap, wet feet, she had a big smile on her face. She was happy. It didn't bother her at all. And I have to keep reminding myself, you got to keep doing it because you can't get sad and depressed and shitty in front of your kid. You just can't. It's not always easy. I'm not saying I always do it right. Just saying you can't do that. So we did that. Then I'd promised her more that we were going to go to a movie too. So I had to call a friend of mine who had a 4-wheel drive vehicle and say, hey, can you please give us a ride to the movie theater and drop us off? Because I promised I was going to take her to see Ready Player One, which we did go see, which was cool. But what else can you do? Well, you have to exercise. You can definitely do your best to eat eat healthy, so as much produce as you can, which also if you're living in a place that has a lot of cold weather and a lot of snow, chances are your fruit and vegetables aren't grown locally, at least during that part of the year, and you have to import a lot of it, so they're kind of a lot. You have to still put in the effort to get them and eat that, and you have to get the right amount of sleep, but you can't oversleep. 14 hours a day, or 8 hours, then you get up for an hour and you're like, outside, it's so crappy. Lay back down. You can't do that. And you can watch YouTube videos to cheer yourself up. That was kind of a joke. But not really. Cheer up, God damn it. Talk to you next time. Like and subscribe. I was going to say you can also use a lot of drugs, but that's not a good idea. Stay away from that, kids.